And I think this is really important because setbacks are something that you're going to experience in every walk of life almost constantly. What's up, guys? I hope you're doing well. I want to tell you what happened to me today. I sat down to edit a bunch of videos. I batch record these things. So I record, let's say 5-6 videos at a time. So all in all, the recording time takes me a couple of hours. And then I'll sit down on another day to do all my editing, put them together and upload. So I sat down to edit today and discovered that all of my footage, the audio was corrupt isn't the right word, but it wasn't usable, not usable. So this was quite a it was a setback. And I sat there and I'm going to explain to you what I went through in terms of my process for dealing with setbacks. Because stuff like this is going to happen all the time. For an example that I'm sure a lot of you can relate to is someone rear-ending your car. You're doing exactly what you're meant to be doing. You're sat at the lights, blah, blah, blah. And someone just comes up behind you carelessly and hits the back of your car. And then, you have to go through insurance. You need to get the repair sorted. You need to organize the car in the meantime, travel to work. It's a pain. And it's an unforeseen setback. It's an unforeseen circumstance that is completely beyond your control. The only thing you ever have control of in these situations is how you choose to respond to it. So your reaction to that situation. And I've tried to develop a process for it to make sure that I get back on the horse, as it were, as soon as possible. So the first thing I do, and this one might surprise you, is I allow myself a 3-minute window to basically let all of my feelings about it out. Because I'm not going to sit here and pretend that when I sat down today and realized that all my audio was no good, that it didn't annoy me, upset me, make me angry. And I think to simply ignore and pretend that those emotions aren't there isn't a healthy thing. I also don't believe it's healthy to feed them and to constantly give it attention. So I allow myself this little window and I call it time to let my ape run itself tired. So I let the chimp out, I let the ape out, and I let it run tired, and I just sit there, say a few choice words, maybe throw something harmless across the room like a pillow. I don't know. You get what I mean. I get it out of my system. And at the end of those 3 minutes, the next thing I do is I begin fixing the problem. What a lot of people do when stuff like this comes up is they start delaying it. So they start saying, right, well, that's something I'm going to need to deal with tomorrow. That's going to be something that needs to be resolved later on. The problem with that is you then carry that with you until it's resolved. It's just there. It's niggling and it's going to affect you and it's going to bring you down in other areas of your life. And the way I get around this is I either completely resolve the situation there and then. So for example, I have now sat down on my editing day to re-record all of this footage so that I have it ready. I don't need to do it today. I could have done this tomorrow. I could have done it the next day, but this is part of my process for handling it. And if you can't, so in the example of the car, you can't just get it fixed and everything in one day. I just make sure I get the ball rolling. I make sure I do at least step 1 of whatever it is that's going to resolve me back to my original state before whatever it is had happened. And I think this is really important because setbacks are something that you're going to experience in every walk of life almost constantly. And the ones that get us the most are the ones where we feel like that we have no control over them. You or a family member get sick. That's something that you don't have control of when it happens. You could have maybe done things, eaten better or exercised more, whatever, to avoid it, but it's happened now, you're sick. The only thing that we have control of is the way we choose to respond to it. And I think making sure that as quickly as possible, you regain control. You take the reins of the situation. what it really does is it empowers you. So rather than this situation that you're in, whatever it might be, being a hindrance to you, it becomes a learning experience. And it becomes a period of personal growth and personal development. You get to learn something from it. You get to grow from the bad experience. And therefore, it's not really that bad of an experience. So I'm not going to go too much more into detail on this one. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. And if anything, let this just be a gentle reminder to you that when stuff goes wrong, which it's going to do, take a minute to throw your toys out of the pram if you feel it helps you. For some of you, it might not, but for me personally, I find it helps. And then as quickly as possible, ideally instantly, begin the process to rectify whatever the situation is. And as always, take care of yourself.